We are
All right, we're
live.
live. We're live. You know that we're live
Sweet.
even. All right, let's do this. Let's go right
All
now.
right. Right. Welcome to Seth Arp and the podcast. I am your host, Seth Arp. And I am now on air over the computer talking with Zach Westcott.
Howdy. You're no longer sitting next to me. We are sitting across from each other via the World Wide Web.
Yep. No more your apartment. Now we're in both of our apartments.
Yeah. We'll do a reunion sometime, but for now it's got to be long distance.
Yep.
All right, dude. Let's do this podcast thing.
All right. So we'll start off, man. What have you been listening to?
What have I been listening to? So we recorded 2 weeks ago to the day, right? I've been racking my brain today to think about what music has come out since then, and I can't even think of one thing that I was listening to, except for shit that nobody should ever really listen to, but I just like this kind of music. Sure. So I have been listening to the new DJ Khaled CD a little bit. There's some songs that are really good on it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's just a terrible, awful person. What else? There's some more EDM. There's been some new releases coming out, and I subscribe to a couple YouTube channels that are like all based around EDM, and they'll have like monthly mixes that come out. So I'll just be like 30 minutes to 2 hours of just like not endless, obviously, but a 2-hour mix of just like newer stuff that's been coming out in the past couple months, and that shit's good, as always. And that will tie in later for our album review, our discussion, I should say.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
I've actually kind of been. So I have a new band that I discovered that I'm really, really, really digging right now.
Okay.
It's weird how I come across some of these bands. Some of them it's like the most random happenstance. This one actually came via a former tight end of the Green Bay Packers on Twitter.
Wow.
Tom Crabtree. I follow him on Twitter. He's very much into the rock, like all the rock music I'm into. Like he actually he was one of the people who convinced me to listen to Royal Blood.
Okay, what do you mean he convinced you? Like he put it out there on Twitter and he was like,
"Well,
this band's really good," and then you were like, "I don't trust you, Tom Crabtree," but then he kept doing it, and he like somehow just convinced you.
So I mean, I'd seen like posts and stuff of Royal Blood and stuff online. I'd been seeing some hype circulating online, and I was like, it was just kind of like, oh, I'll scroll past it, and then Tom Crabtree kind of had like a description. He's like, oh, it's like they're kind of White Stripes-y and some Muse and all this like other stuff, and I was like, ooh, this might be good. and then I went, and then I became a super fan. And so I saw him talk about this band the other day called Nothing But Thieves, another UK band, like Royal Blood, Muse, Arctic Monkeys. Like those are all like the bands that are like similar to them on Spotify. And so ever since I found a few of their songs on Spotify, I've been like, I'm now going to be spreading the gospel.
I love that, man. That's what I need. I need that band that I hear. Cause like I listen to it. I think you either tweeted or put something on my Facebook, and it's totally good, but it just didn't grab me how it grabbed you, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I totally understand where you're coming from. You just want to feel that like, oh man, not only is this one song that I heard good, but like the rest of their shit's really good. And now I just have this whole, sometimes it's a catalog, sometimes it's just an album, but It always feels really good to really get into a band like that, a new band like that.
Yeah, and what was I going to say? Oh,
Okay, well,
dude,
I'm gonna
because
tell. I'm gonna interrupt you because I figured out how to share the live stream. I'm gonna put it out there on Facebook,
oh, sweet.
and possibly I'll probably throw it up on Twitter too, and just be like, "Hey, we're recording. If you want to join and like watch the magic happen, you can certainly do that. Otherwise, fuck off." So keep talking. What else? There's just this new band. Anything else?
So I'll this isn't really kind of my topic, but I'll go on this little tangent here. So I went to this conference this weekend in Chicago. It was a DIY musician conference, and some of the people I met there, some of the artists I met were really cool. I started kind of checking out their stuff online, and um, so there's this one guy I met. He's Chicago. He's from Chicago. His name is Namdi Arakpo, and he's a spoken word artist. He does spoken word, but it's kind of like mixed with
Spoken
hip
word.
hop, rap a little bit. Um,
Okay.
and so I was hanging out with Namdi this weekend, and he played a song that he well a track that he hasn't released yet, but it's in the works. Um, and it just floored me. He's an incredible poet. He's got a really cool cadence and delivery to his stuff, and some of his stuff is really really powerful. Um, I'll
Okay.
I'll have to talk about that track later on at the end of the show.
So, yeah, you went to what was the name of this conference you went to in Chicago?
Um, so it was hosted by the website I actually distribute my music through, which is CD Baby.
Okay.
So it's like CD Baby DIY Musician Conference. Um,
I think we should make that the first topic
think so?
because we're a topic-based podcast, Seth, and we need to
We
have
are.
topics. Um, so I had one, but mine's going to be a short one that I'm going to tack on to the end of our album discussion or before it, one of the two. But
All right.
let's talk about this. Let's talk about. Tell me about this music conference. Tell me about the stuff you saw. Give me like an in-depth look at what you experienced. I did see it was a YouTube video of people in like a hallway just sort of like
That was my hotel
freestyling.
room.
That was your hotel
Oh,
room.
oh, no, 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 no. Well, there are videos of like we had a jam session. I'll get to that. So I'll start from the beginning. Um, so it was a whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday they had a seminar on how to go about approaching like booking gigs, booking tours, like how do you approach a venue? What do you need what do you need to submit to a venue?
What do you need?
Just
I want to know. What do you need?
um, so I mean like you send out an email, but like have links like every link to all your shit.
Okay,
Like
yeah. I mean, that seems like common sense.
yeah, yeah. I mean a lot of stuff is like pretty much common sense. Is like as an artist, like it's not like you kind of think of it as like a job, like you're going in for a job interview, but like it doesn't have to be as super professional as a job
Well, yeah,
interview.
especially if you're playing little clubs or
Yeah, I
bars,
mean,
like I'm sure they don't have some dude who sits in a suit, looking at people
right,
who they want to play. You just kind of
right.
show people what you got, and if your style will fit their atmosphere, then maybe something good happens.
Yeah. So I mean, it's all like post like every link to all your shit, so like they can see maybe if you have like old press about you, like you played at this gig and some like newspaper guy like reviewed you or some internet blogger said your album was good or something like that. Like have press so like you can so they can kind of tell like what kind of following you have, what kind of reputation you have. Like, are you a good live band, or do you really stuck? You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What about like stuff you wouldn't expect? Is there stuff you wouldn't expect them to that you would have to do but you should do, or is it pretty straightforward?
I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
It's there's not. I don't know. I mean, just be. I don't know. Give him all your shit. Give him access to all your shit, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, anything else? I know you said that there are a couple of different panels that you were
Uh,
interested in.
yeah, I mean, so they had different seminars like how to monetize a YouTube account. The one that I really there's a couple ones. We actually the CEO of Pledge Music, if anyone's familiar, like it's like Kickstarter, like crowdfunding websites, but Pledge Music is more devoted to music. Duh. Um, he gave a really good speech and some interesting statistics about consuming and like um, getting people to buy your shit because as a musician like this you're competing with free
Yeah,
and that
that's true.
and you know that's he said that's okay though. um, he said basically just give your fans a reason to come back to you. And so there's some interesting statistics he threw out. So he said about 17% of people who consume music consumers, consider themselves super fans. Like you put out an album for $10, a super fan will be like, you know, fuck it, I'll give you 50 for it if you want, if you really
Hmm.
want. Like the people that'll like come to your like you're in town, like we're gonna go to your show no matter what.
Yeah,
Like we don't care.
absolutely. I have
So
several bands like that that no matter how much they charge, if they come close, odds are I'm going to see them.
yeah, and so he said 17% account as super fans, and he
Hmm.
said that 17% of super fans contributes to 60. I think I want to say 61% of revenue in the music industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Hmm. That's
like
interesting.
that small percentage, like the millions, billions of people that consume music, the 17% contribute 61% to the music industry. And
I
so
would
that
not have
so he was
expected
kind of
that.
so he was going off of that, and so he brought up Candy Crush, the app Candy
Yeah.
Crush, and he said so the statistics he said so 97.7% of people who own Candy Crush play it for free, like they own the free version, like they don't do anything, like they just play Candy Crush.
Hmm.
And, and that app is free. And he said uh, Candy Crush in 2014 made $1.3 billion on in-app purchases. Like you buy more
Ooh.
levels, you buy more lives, whatever, all that kind of stuff.
Yep. And there's
So that
ads, so you have to think about how much they make with ads too. Oof.
yeah, and so he said so the 2 point what was it? 2.7 no 2.3% of people who own Candy Crush on average were 42 cents on in-app purchases. So that 2.3% accounts for $1.3 billion.
Jesus. Okay.
Like,
We gotta start talking about Candy Crush. That's just gonna bum me out. What else did you see? Were there so I'm guessing every day was there like a space where people could play music or what was or was it just there's panels all day and then you just sort of leave and come back the next day?
I mean, there were seminars through like most of the afternoon. Like it started around 9 o'clock in the morning and would go to about 5 or 6 o'clock at night. And
That's
then
geez,
so
that's a long day.
yeah, Friday night they had an open mic night at the venue downtown called the Bottom Lounge,
Hmm.
which is really which was really fun because it's like everyone that went up there. It wasn't like open mic night where you have like like some like local hipster that like wants to sing his dreary folk song,
Yeah.
like the guy that like the struggling art, like the real like not really trying artist.
Yeah. People
Um,
who just think it'd be fun
the
to
thing
go to
I
an open mic night.
yeah, and the thing I didn't quite like about it was is that a lot like most of the artists that played there were chosen before this conference even started. So it was like everyone submitted and then like you got selected to do open mic night. But then they had a few lottery draws
Oh, cool.
like every hour. They're like, okay, well, we'll like put your name in, and I was actually one that got to play. Tour right at the end. It was the
What'd you
second to last
play?
one.
What'd you play?
Played 2 songs off my EP.
Yeah, acoustic? Or did
Yep.
they? Oh, dude, nice. How many
Yeah.
people
Which
showed up for it? Quite a few?
uh, I mean, like most of everyone there is at. There was probably I'd say probably like a couple like 150 people or so. 100.
Woo! All right, man.
It was quite a few. I mean, it was like all the artists that were there at the conference like showed up. The CD Baby reserved the upstairs at the bottom lounge for
Hell yeah,
this, but
dude. Good reception. People dug it.
yeah,
I bet. I bet.
it was really cool because I mean everyone there was so enthusiastic about like
Yeah,
everyone was
man.
so into each other's music. They're like oh man like how do you do songwriting or like what do you some shows like hey if you're ever in the area like in this town like let us know we'll hook you up with venues or like maybe you can
Whoa,
open for like
cool.
that was the kind of atmosphere of this place. I've been to some conferences where it's like just kind of a pissing match where it's just like yeah my band's better than your band fuck off man.
Yeah, you got it. There's got to be bands like that, though. There's just gotta. It's rock.
Yeah, well what was crazy is that I mean being there I don't think so. I mean, a lot of people that were there identified as singer songwriter, but singer songwriter is so general because you can have singer songwriter in folk, you can have singer songwriter in blues, you can have singer songwriter in whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but like I didn't meet that many people that were like all were in the same genre. Like everything was very diverse. Like you had spoken word, you had Americana, you had instrumentals, you had R&B, you had hip hop, you like all over the board. I think I met one rock band. No, two
Just
rock bands. Two rock
okay.
bands in the whole thing.
Huh.
One band was from LA that I got to know pretty well. They were like basically were like similar to Weezer, like kind of that power,
What is
like
Weezer?
kind of punk rock esque.
I guess they're
And then
weird. They're a weird band. I don't
well,
really know how to
they, they
describe them.
they said they were Weezer with self confidence.
Yeah, Rivers Cuomo does not have any. I doubt it. He knows he's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Well, cool,
so
man.
there's this, and then I met like a Celtic rock band from Canada.
What?
It was so
Yes, please. That sounds awesome.
yeah, it was so much fun.
Well, good,
Um,
dude.
but I
Good.
mean, like I think the best part of the conference wasn't even really the seminars. It was jamming with people in between, like like
Just meet. I
Friday
mean,
night
that's the point of those
after.
conferences. Like, I mean, say you go again next year, you'd probably hear a lot of the same things if they do another one next year. But honestly, the best part about that is networking. That's why you go to those because it's all these like-minded people coming together. You meet people who are higher up than you, who can help you out, who especially like you got lucky enough to play music, and so that's 150 people that heard you play music.
Yeah,
Like one of
and
those any of those people could be like, hey, like I really like this dude, and you make a connection, just like you said, like say you go visit Austin or something for some reason, and the guy that you know is from Austin, he's like, yeah, come, you can crash at my place, we'll play a show or something. You get that from going to things like that.
yeah, then we have. I mean, a lot of the friends I made, like they've already like thrown me some likes on Facebook and
There you go.
are plugging some of my YouTube stuff. I mean, there's
That's what you
I actually
need.
I actually have the songs I played at the open mic night. So one of my friends took a video and posted it. Well, sent it to me, so I have it posted up on YouTube.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
and we there was just like a few jam sessions we had. It was so cool. What did I say? Saturday afternoon during the seminars, like some people were kind of like there was one room that was kind of dedicated to just like mixing and talking with people for a little bit.
Hmm.
And there was one guy that was sitting in this hallway. He was just playing his acoustic guitar, playing some of his own songs, then one of the guys I was hanging out with like came down and sat by him and starts drumming on the floor and like kind of beatboxing and he's giving him a drum beat. And then girl came and sat down and started doing background vocals. And so like people just kind of started sitting around and like just started adding a part to it. And then out of nowhere, this guy just kind of comes and just starts spitting, just like doing a rap behind it. And it was fucking crazy. And then another guy came up and he started spitting a verse, and then another guy came up and he started spitting a verse. It was, and like this went on for like another 5-10 minutes, and then like people like started coming out of the seminars, like stand around us and video us and just jamming out and stuff. It was so much fun.
Nice, man. That sounds like a really good time. That is, and even it doesn't make sense for me to go to something like that, but I'd love to just to listen to that kind of stuff and to see those seminars. Because
Yeah,
a seminar is a terribly boring sounding word, but if it's something you care about, it can be super interesting.
absolutely.
And like, even though I'm not a musician by any stretch of the imagination, just hearing that stuff would be cool because yeah, you never know. I don't know. I like music a lot. I've made music before. I don't. It's probably not. It's not any good. But say I ever want to pick that kind of thing up again, you could learn some things at a place like that.
Exactly. Exactly. It was such a great conference because I came back with so much that like I feel like I have a momentum moving forward.
Yes,
Um,
inspiration probably a lot.
Inspiration and just like I have an idea of what to do now. Better idea of
Nice,
what to do.
dude. Very nice. Very nice. Well, solid. I think I had a great first topic. Go me. You did all the talking. So let's move on to some of yours. You said you had a couple. I figure we'll do those, then we'll move on to album discussion and a little bit of what I wanted to talk about.
Um, so I reached out to some friends to ask for some topic ideas. So I have a couple here
Yeah.
that you can choose one or we can talk both. It doesn't matter.
Ah, fuck it.
Um,
Let's do both. We'll see how long one goes, and odds are the first one will branch into the second one naturally
okay.
somehow.
So my one friend says, "What are some possible collaborations between rappers and rock bands that you think would be really good?"
Well, that's easy. Just make another Black Rock album, and then you'll literally have every single one of them, and you won't even have to worry about it. It'll be all in one album. But yeah, that's if you ever say rock and roll and rap, I go straight to Black Rock because um, if you find the right band like the Black Keys who know how to make soulful blues rock, hip hop comes out of the blues, if you go far enough back. So they mesh pretty fucking well together. And
Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff that I like. I never was into like, I mean, obviously they're the famous ones like Aerosmith and Run DMC Walk This Way. That song's iconic, but I don't really like it that much. Or what's that one? Was it Public Enemy did with Anthrax? You know what I'm talking about? Whatever that song is, I
uh,
can't think of it. I should be able to think of it, but I can't. That song, like, I'm not into like metal and rap. I don't know.
yeah. Not,
But if we're looking for specific ones of things that I would like to see, I would love to see. Oh, quit buzzing at me. Um, Damn. Yeah, that's all right. Do you have any? You got to think about it, so you go first. Actually, you go first, then I'll go.
oh man, I mean, see, I'm not. If I was more well versed in rap and hip hop, it's like all I can think of is like the big names. It's like I remember um remember John Mayer and Jay Z did a collaboration. I think John Mayer stood in on guitar
Ugh,
for
that
for
sounds terrible. Jay-Z does vocals would not mesh well with John Mayer, I don't think.
well no, there was John Mayer like played that guitar line in Death of Autotune.
Um, I don't know that song off the top of my head, but
It's,
okay.
it's off of is it off the Blueprint 3?
Oh yeah,
Something like
no
that. I don't know.
idea. But okay. Maybe that
I don't,
works.
I don't know about well. that was just one I know that's already like something is that kind of happened. I would. Oh man,
So yeah, that's why I
maybe
don't
like
know.
Jay Z and someone. It's
I don't know. I don't know. Jay Z just doesn't like. Maybe Jay Z would work. I don't, if I think about it, because if I think about Black Rock, which is for people who don't know, is the two guys from the Black Keys collaborated with a bunch of different hip hop artists. The bigger ones, I guess, like Ludacris and Mos Def, were
yeah,
probably like the biggest ones off the album that I know. I mean, they're probably the most mainstream. They were on it, so maybe Jay Z would work if it was with them. But I feel like it'd have to be a band like the Black Keys. You couldn't, I can't. It's hard for me to pick like just some rock band and then some rapper and be like, yeah, just throw them
right,
together. It'd be okay. No, I think the reason that I like that kind of music is because people have thought about it and tailored it to each other, and they kind of meet halfway into a sort of beautiful union.
sure.
Whereas it's hard to just pick a band and then pick a rapper and go, yeah, probably. It never sounds good.
Um,
So
one of the ones I think about because I mean I know Jack. Well, I know everyone's gonna be like, yeah, okay, whatever. I know Jack White. Some of his more recent stuff, some of the songs he does kind of ride that edge of rock rap, like rap rock, like
yeah,
Lazaretto, like that was had more of like a rap delivery to it. I feel like I mean I know Jack White's done work with Alicia Keys. They did that James Bond theme.
that's not rock or rap. Come
Oh,
on.
I know it's not. I know it's not rap. I know it's not rap, but he's worked with
Well, yeah,
artists
he's a good
outside of
producer. I mean, at this point, he's probably a really good producer. So
yeah.
I'm sure he's worked with artists outside of his genre. What James Bond song did they do?
Another Way to Die.
What? Off of what movie? What movie?
I want to say it's Die Another Day.
What? I thought it was Madonna. I don't fucking know. Who cares? I don't know. Man, the Bond songs have been actually pretty good. The past two, the one with Chris Cornell is really good for Casino Royale. Remember that one?
I do not.
That was weird. That was awesomely weird. I mean, that was like 2006 or 2007 when that took place. But Chris Cornell, dude, yeah. And then the
So
last
I was
one,
wrong. The Jack White Alicia Keys was off Quantum of Solace.
yes, the one that nobody likes. I was like, it has to be that one because Die Another Day was like long enough ago that I mean, Jack White was still the White Stripes at that point, so I couldn't see him doing that. But okay. But yeah, Skyfall had Adele. That was a good one. A lot of people like that one. And then the new one is Sam Smith, and I think that song's been released.
It has.
I've not heard it. Maybe it's good. I
Even
like
Sam
Sam
Smith
Smith.
said he doesn't really like it.
He he's hit and miss with me. He's very hit and miss. Like sometimes, like when he works with a group like Disclosure, UK EDM, whatever dance music, like it for some reason when they collaborate, it works really well. But his solo stuff has been kind of like I don't know. I haven't really dug it. I mean, some of the songs are good, but then there's a lot of stuff. It's like he does that like real hot. When he goes like real high, I don't necessarily like it. But
Apparently, that's what he said. He had to grab his balls a few times when he was recording this song. He said he wasn't a big fan of it.
That's funny.
Speaking of that Adele Bond song, did you hear the mashup of Adele's Bond song and "No One Knows" by Queens of the Stone Age?
Yeah, I didn't like it. It sounded really cheaply made. Ugh. Plus, no one knows is way better fast. I didn't like that they
That's
slowed it down. I like that
that's
song's like in your face, man. That song's great.
very true. But we kind of got off topic.
Yeah, right.
So you don't really have
Yeah.
a
The only like I can't pick two artists and just throw them together and think it'll be good. Like uh, the kind of rap rock mix I like already exists, and I don't really necessarily need more. I don't not want more, but if I'm ever have a craving for it, it exists and I can find it.
do you? I mean, if I what would you think about a rapper teaming up with someone standing in for Zach De La Roche? in Rage Against the
Uh,
Machine.
Wait, what do you mean? You mean like a musician with Zach De La Roach?
Like, do you? Yeah.
Because I mean that's happened before. I can't
I
think
mean,
of the
I mean,
name.
could you think of any rapper that might fit standing in standing in place for Queen or for Rage Against the Machine?
No, because like I mean, come on, man. I mean, I think okay. I think you could probably have Kendrick Lamar do some Rage Against the Machine songs and it'd be fucking awesome. Because he can. I mean, they're obviously very different artists, but they both have that sort of raspiness to their voice. I mean, I don't know if Kendrick Lamar can like sort of do that sort of scream yelling. I mean, it's not like screamo, but you know what I mean. Like there are a couple Rage Against
Right.
Machine songs where he fucking yells, like basically, and it's
Yeah, he's
awesome.
just angry. Yeah.
But I bet that Kendrick Lamar could do some of that, especially after hearing that last album, To Pimp a Butterfly, which I don't necessarily like, but it shows that he can do different stuff. You know, he can
Sure.
have like really good flow, but he can also do that like sort of like, you know, this is going to sound terrible, and I don't mean that they're similar artists, but they do have similar, I guess they're not similar artists, but they have a similar way of rapping, and I'm comparing Kendrick Lamar to Eminem, and that there are two different types of Eminem sounds. There's like the the real Slim Shady and like Without Me, that kind of like when he's trying to do more funny stuff where he kind of has like more of a
Right.
flow. But then there's like his like stuff where he tries to go hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting at. Like then there's that
Yeah.
kind of Eminem, just like the way there was with Kendrick, because a lot of like Good Kid, Mad City and stuff before that, he just has a really good flow, like on something like Swimming Pools, um, or Money Tree. But then like on songs like King Kunta and The Black of the Berry and stuff off the new album, like he can fucking go hard. He can give it his all, just the same way that Zach De La Roach can. So I'd really like that'd be cool. I would really like to see him do some Rage Against the Machine songs. That'd be so
Kendrick
cool.
against the Machine.
That would be so cool, and I wonder if it already exists.
Maybe there might be some mashup. I remember I saw a mashup of, oh god, what was it? It was Psychotic Girl by the Black Keys mashed
Yeah,
up. I forget what was mashed up. I think it's probably, you'd probably think it would be a cheap mashup like the Adele song, but I want to say it was Dirt Off Your Shoulders.
hmm.
It was a Jay-Z song. I'm pretty sure it was Dirt Off Your Shoulders. And
See, that could
I don't know if
work.
that's
Maybe that would work. That sounds
I
like
don't
it
know if
might
that's
work.
right. I'm
That
sure if you
sounds
look
right.
up Jay-Z Black Keys mashup or something, you'll find it.
Yeah,
But I want,
I'm going to after this. That's for sure. Yeah, yeah. That's I don't know. What was your other topic? I honestly don't know how to. I don't have anything else for this one. That
um,
threw me off in a way I didn't think it would.
um, the other one, my friend who actually was kind of the one that got me down to Chicago here,
Hmm.
who plays piano. He's in a pop rock band, kind of jazz pop rock. He's a piano player.
That's wait a minute. Let's take a step back and look at those three words together. What? Jazz pop rock? What does
So
that
I mean,
mean?
so he got his. He's very well versed in jazz. That was he studied music at UW La Crosse. Um, hit the they play like, so his band Non Pronto. They play. They're more so classified as pop rock, but there are some like jazzy elements to it. Like he plays a little jazzier piano on some of it. Um,
Okay. Okay. I was just like real confused at first. Now I can maybe sort of see that. I'll have to listen to them.
yeah, and a solo stuff. But so he's well versed in jazz, and so there's elements that he brings to the band with
Okay.
that. Um, he wanted he brought up with a wink emoji. He says, why do you think guitar is so much more popular than piano in music?
It just looks cooler when you're playing it. I feel like that's literally the answer. Guitar looks cool as shit when you're playing it. Now, I'm not saying that people don't appreciate piano players, and like you see some piano players go and they just do their thing, and it's amazing. But I mean, guitar just looks cool.
I,
Like I think that answers that question. Like for me, that's the answer: is it looks cool. You look like a fucking badass if you know how to play guitar well.
well, you can also look like a badass playing piano. Some
Okay,
points,
but
and
that wasn't the
yeah, I mean,
question.
there's,
That's not
I
the
mean,
question. The question is why? Why
I
is it
mean,
more popular? Because that's why. I think I'm not saying that I would bet a lot of people who play guitar learned how to play piano first. But I mean, if you're looking at in society what I think we consider more cool, guitar all the way.
yeah, I mean, when you look at the amount of rock bands out there that are centered around guitars versus centered around pianos, it's I don't know the ratio, but I mean, it's guitars, piano. I mean,
Also, I mean, when you look at it, it's way fucking easier to transport guitars around than pianos.
that's true. Or I mean, like keys, like keyboards. I mean, if you you could kind of make an argument that with like the kind of the big surgence of synth pop, synthesizers, keys, that and I know like I'm not totally familiar with the way EDM is produced, but like a lot of you're making pads and you're using a lot of synthesizer stuff that in that aspect that piano is popular. But I mean, then you're kind of getting like I'm not sure if this debate is like specifically like talking grand pianos versus acoustic and electric guitars, or whether you're talking piano and the family of things outside of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really. Yeah, this question has to be defined more because if it's like who plays more, piano or guitar, like that might be piano. I don't know, but I think it might be piano.
I mean, I know like a lot of artists either like usually or not usually. I don't want to. Generally, I would say that most artists get a start on piano and then either move to guitar. I mean, there are some there's of course there's exceptions all around, but
Hmm.
piano is what they learned on, like first learned to play music on, because at the time piano like a lot of families had a piano in their house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just think guitar looks cooler. Personally, I'm not saying guitar is better because I love the piano and amazing things can happen with the piano, especially as someone who loves EDM. Piano makes pretty much all electronic music possible. There are other ways to make electronic music, yes, but um, I done dig that piano. Without the MIDI keyboards, man, I wouldn't have nothing to groove to.
that
So that's what you got. That was
was
it.
that
Those
was
are
what I had.
those are okay. Tell your friends they
That
need to
was
come up with better shit. Then
I.
again, I didn't ask my friends for anything, and they probably wouldn't come up with anything better anyway. But okay, let's move on. Let's move on to some little album discussion. I had
Yes.
tasked you on the last episode to listen to something outside of genres that you're familiar with, or maybe a genre you don't even like. So why don't you tell me about it? Tell me
Yes.
about your experience.
Um, so the album I was tasked with listening to was Group Therapy by um, Above and Beyond,
You sure were.
um, which is way outside of my element.
Okay.
I mean, I don't listen to a lot of EDM. This is probably the first EDM I've specifically gone out of my way to listen to
Yeah, because you had to.
because I because I had to. Um, so it was obviously obviously an experience. But I don't know. I kind of came out of listening to it indifferent. I didn't I didn't hate it,
Okay.
but I wasn't like I'd probably have to listen to more EDM to kind of get sold on it.
Okay, let's break
Um,
it. Let's break it down because it's just what did you like about it, and then what did you not like about it? I guess the most basic question I could ask, because I think that's
um,
where we need to start.
yeah. Um, I did like some of the interludes that the album had. I actually really liked the opening filmic.
Yeah.
So it was um, sorry, I have a cold right now, so I'm like trying to trying to not
Trying to deal. That'll
trying to
happen.
deal with it. Um, I did I did really like the interludes that in it, especially the first one because I really liked I really liked that piano in there.
Okay, here's
Um,
okay. So here's the thing. Keep going. I'll have something to say afterwards. Keep going.
uh, then there were a few tracks that kind of caught my attention. It was really long. It's like 80 minutes worth of
Oh yeah,
music.
man. Some of those songs are real long.
Yeah, I mean a lot of them run around 5, some of them even like 6 minutes,
Yeah,
which
that is progressive EDM and trance. Long ass songs.
yeah. Um, so it was a little harder to keep my attention because because certain songs after a while would just kind of I was like just kind of like okay, this can
Yeah.
kind of come to an end. But I mean, I understand that EDM is a different aesthetic. Like
Yeah. So what in
it,
what context were you listening to it?
uh,
Like were you like focused on it? Like, all right, I'm gonna sit down and listen to this and just sort of like focus on this, or were you like, I'm gonna chill, look at Reddit, search some stuff, just kind of in the background?
no, I mean, starting off, it I was definitely trying to focus on it because um, especially I really liked Alchemy. Uh,
Hell yeah.
Alchemy was uh, yeah. So I mean, I tried to listen to this like as I'm like I'm just gonna focus on this. I want to really absorb all the instrumentation and stuff. And eventually, it just kind of became like probably like the last 5 or 6 songs. Kind of started like, all right, I'm gonna go on Facebook for a little bit, or like kind of
Yeah.
it started to
Yeah.
become background music.
That's I mean, and that's why I like it so much. I mean, with Above and Beyond, it's a little bit different because this isn't their artist album. This isn't like a mix or anything. This is their artist album. These are songs that they took time to, prepare, blah blah blah. It took them like a while for the between their first album and this album. This is their second. Um and so I mean, you probably could give it a good sit down and just like, all right, I'm going to sit down, just listen and just focus on it. But for the most part, EDM for me is so good because of that sort of. I can listen to this while I'm working, like while I'm at work, or while I'm just like chilling, looking at Facebook, or while I'm driving. It's perfect driving music for me. Ideally, I should have told you you have to like just suck it up and drive around for 20 minutes with it on, or go hit like a highway for like 10 minutes for at least a couple songs or something, because that's, I think, when this kind of music shines as sort of a supplement to what you're doing. It doesn't necessarily define it, which is why like which is interesting about it. That's later in the discussion. After we talk about the album, I'll talk about that, but keep going.
um, so yeah, I mean, like the some of the other singles that kind of caught. I did like Black Room Boy. Um,
Okay.
the, I think I probably liked a lot of the singles off of it, like Thing Called Love. Um,
There were a lot of singles off of this album.
yeah, yeah, I
I mean, if you're the one, I mean, yeah. there's a lot of singles off this album.
Um, but I don't know. I mean, I mean, that's kind of the thing. That's why I say I'd probably have to listen to more EDM to get the appreciation because like you said, I was probably listening to it in the wrong context. You know,
Yeah,
I was trying to solely
maybe.
focus on it when it's something that might be better served when you have like you said, it's a supplement to something.
Yeah.
Um,
It for me, I mean, maybe for other people, they like really just sitting down and focusing on it. For me, it's a supplement to what I'm doing. Like playing video games, it's perfect for that because sometimes this album has a lot of vocals on it, but a lot of EDM that I listen to doesn't have vocals. So it's perfect for like playing a video game or doing something where I don't need to focus. I can't focus on two sets of words. You know what I mean?
yeah, you
So it's
can
hard
zone
for
out for
yeah. I can't like focus on someone singing something to me and then someone like yelling something or talking at me in a different medium or form of media, and it just confuses me.
yeah,
Um, but I don't know. It I really like this album. The thing is, EDM usually the lyrics in songs that have vocals are fucking abysmal, and it's just like the most generic bullshit. And
right,
sometimes Above and Beyond is like that. Like sometimes a lot of the choruses are like that. But man, the way that they produce their music is so like beautiful to me that the sort of like simplistic lyrics sort of shine through.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like the song, my favorite song off this album is probably "You Got to Go." It's the fourth track,
yep,
and Above and Beyond has always been really good about making music videos. So for this album, the music videos really highlighted highlighted the like sort of message of the song. I think the go is just these group of friends in like a small little van, like just traveling around. I'm guessing Europe, and it's just like it has this real sense of adventure to it, and so does the song. You know, it's telling you to fucking get out there and go do stuff in the world.
right,
You know, experience the world, and those things that all there's a lot of something as simple as "You Got to Go" really shines through in that song, even though it's just like fucking it's four words and it's really simplistic and they say it a lot. The way that the music around it is produced, combined with that, just makes it like a lot more powerful than it has any right to be. Which
yeah,
is something I really dig about Above and Beyond in particular.
yeah. That was some of the first songs. I mean, the last half of it, like I probably zoned out on some of it, so I like didn't really pay attention to much of the lyrics. But
Mm-hmm.
um, on on songs like Black Room Boy or and like I want to say Sun and Moon.
Yes,
But
love that song.
um, like you're right. Their lyricism is clever. Like it's clever, and it's not.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not just like it's not cliches thrown in. There's not a lot of
Yeah,
cliches
I mean
thrown in.
it's not that it's not cheesy sometimes, but it's not too played out. It's not so cheesy or so like it's not so cliched. Which I
Right.
totally sometimes a lot of trans has just the stupidest fucking lyrics ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, all right. I'm glad you gave it I mean obviously you were going to give it a shot, but I would say that if you dug some of it but wasn't necessarily into the genre of music, Above and Beyond did this thing. I think it's just called Above and Beyond Live. So they sort of did an acoustic performance of this album, and it's fucking amazing. And I think you'd like it a lot more because this is like these are people who three dudes making EDM music who are also training piano, guitar, like strings and shit. And they have
Yeah.
strings and piano and they rearranged all these songs that are like classic EDM songs to be acoustic. Super good. So I think you should definitely check that out.
I will have
I
to do
probably should have
that.
had I probably should have had you check that out first and then see what you thought of the dance of the artist album. But whatever. Okay, cool. Very cool. So, all right, I had a couple questions now that you know obviously you haven't been super exposed to EDM, but now that you have at least one album under your belt, what I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you before, but make it more broad about EDM. What do you like about it, and what do you not like about it?
Um, so I mean, the things I appreciate about it would be, I mean, there's a lot of production skill that's involved. I mean, stereotypically people think it's just like some guy. It's just like pressing a couple buttons. Like people think, like a lot of people think that they're like, oh, I can make EDM. No, you can't.
No,
I mean,
no,
there's
you can't.
there's it's a lot harder than you think, because I mean there's so much there's a lot of production that goes involved, because there's so many layers and textures that get um, stacked on top of each other, like building up to drops and
Yeah,
um,
knowing how to
stuff.
how
There's
all that works, like they're mixing and mastering all of their own shit for the most part.
yeah, yeah,
And
and it's go ahead.
and I was just also going to say that a lot of I think I've mentioned this before. A lot of the artists that are my favorites, they first were classically trained pianists, and then they got into EDM and started using it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't.
Yeah,
There are definitely artists out there who were like started in their bedroom and just sort of like messed around with it, but got it and are now okay enough to be able to at least make the kind of music they want to make. But a lot of these dudes were like started off as kids who were getting taught piano lessons by their parents and probably went to recitals and all this shit. And then they became teenagers and went, yeah, I don't really want to play this kind of music. I want to play something different. So they're bringing classical piano skills into a genre that you wouldn't expect them, and the results are amazing.
yeah, yeah. So I really appreciate the use of textures and stuff, because it's not um, textures and effects that really, like you said, like adding like classical piano lines and stuff behind a lot of those pads and stuff sound like it really brings a new element into it.
Yeah,
Um,
and knowing how to use Pro Tools or Reason or whatever the producer uses, like being able to manipulate all of the different things in that program, and knowing how to do that, and then being able to replicate it on like a mixer or their turntables or whatever they happen to use, or like the looping drum loop pads or whatever you call them. I can't think of exactly what they're
yeah,
called, but I've seen a lot of like kind of more low key different kinds of EDM. Like there'll be shows where the dude will just like straight up set up a drum beat on the fly. He has like all of his sounds preloaded, but he will just on the fly
right.
with one of those like big like 64 pad things like come up with a beat, and it's like that's amazing. Like that's skill, that's a talent, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, to know how, like, what you definitely have to have an ear for music for it, and it's I don't know. There's a lot of the musical skill involved is I really that's I mean, like you said, like some of these guys that are coming out as starting as traditional piano players, and then starting to um, create a different style of music. I have
Yeah.
respect for that. I really like.
Yeah.
That's what I really do enjoy about it.
Okay. And that
Um,
was kind of the whole point of me having you listen to that album. It wasn't that I wanted to turn you into an EDM fan. Like that'd be cool, but that doesn't matter to
right.
me. What
I'm probably
matters
not
is
gonna be. I'm not gonna be
yeah.
getting like candy wristbands and
Yeah, that
and
wasn't the intention. The intention was just to have, like, I think that's going to become a part of a lot of what this podcast is going to turn into is us sort of just appreciating different kinds of music more, you know,
Yeah.
which I think is important to at least listen to stuff and understand why you don't like it, which is one of my like biggest pet peeves about people and their opinions. It's fine to have an opinion, but if you have no basis for it, then what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, come
Right.
on.
If you're
So I
just,
was thinking,
if you're just like, well, rap sucks. Well, why does it suck? Well, it just does, man.
yeah, like, do you listen to rap and just not like it? No, I just hate it. You know, that's not a reason to hate it. Like, I feel like to hate it, you have to have listened to it and at least understand why you hate it. Give me an actual argument. Don't just tell me that it sucks for no reason.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Well, good, man. Good. Very good. I thought of a question. Last topic. I think that might make an even 4 or 5, maybe,
All right.
whatever. I thought of a question. I thought of this today. I was listening to a different podcast and they were talking about music, and some dude was saying how he didn't like a certain kind of music or a certain artist within a genre. And it had me thinking about, especially now that you're talking about people and their opinions. How do I word
Excuse
this?
me
I
for a
guess it's
second.
not really. God damn
Oh,
it,
go.
man.
Sorry.
We're live,
Go.
dude. We
I
have a
know.
viewer. We have one viewer, and you're blowing your fucking nose. God damn it. Anyway, okay. So here, I guess, okay, it's more of a statement than a question. So, and I'm going to use country music as an example, and you can probably apply this to rock music. Like people who don't listen to country music and don't like it. I have to be more specific. So, like, say,
Sorry.
what are you doing?
Sorry. So
You gonna
you're
blow your
kind of
nose
like
again?
you're cutting out my. No, you're in the internet connection's like you're like.
Goddamn internets. Okay, I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna get through this. Okay, it is a question. Name this artist. Name an artist that makes you feel like this. So I'm gonna use country as an example. If you do not like Alan Jackson and you don't listen to country music, that's fine. But if you do like country music and you don't like Alan Jackson, you're a fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean? Just
Okay.
kidding. So, like, if we're using rock music, I mean, I'm guess I'm asking what kind of artists are in like their respective genres. So, like, if I say, if you don't like the Black Keys, but you also don't like rock music, that's totally fine. But if you are a big fan of rock music and you don't like the Black Keys, you have shitty taste, and I don't like you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And yes, that's obviously exaggerating because everyone can listen to whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't really matter. It's your opinion's your opinion. But you know what I'm talking about? Like, there's those classics that, like, if you say you like this genre of music but you don't like this artist, like, what the fuck? That just doesn't compute.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you want me to come
Yeah, I
up
want
with
you to
one of
come
those?
up with some. Let's come up with some together. Like, I'm thinking, like,
All right.
if you don't like Biggie Smalls and you don't like rap music, that's fine because you don't like rap music. But if you say that you love rap music and you don't like Biggie fucking Smalls, dude, what are you doing? How can you not like Biggie Smalls?
I'll
So do you
use.
have artists like that? That's what I guess that's what I'm asking you is like, what artists do you feel that way about?
Yeah. I. If you, I'll use a. I'll use the big one. Um, if you don't like Led Zeppelin and don't like classic rock, that's fine. But if you do like classic rock and you don't like
You
Led
fucking
Zeppelin,
better
go
like
fuck
Led Zeppelin. Yeah, right.
go fuck yourself.
You can really yeah, and I think it definitely works with rock really well. Because there's definitely niche stuff, but yeah, like that's exactly what I'm thinking of. Like if you don't like stoner rock and you don't like Queens of the Stone Age, that's cool. But if you're gonna fucking tell me you like stoner rock and you don't like Queens of the Stone Age, you're an idiot. What are you talking about?
Oh man.
Sorry, it took me a long time to get there, but I was thinking like, is this a question or is it a statement? I couldn't really tell how I was supposed to word it, but I just thought that was really interesting. How so like you can totally be fine with someone who doesn't like a genre of music that you like, but if someone likes the same genre as you and they don't like an artist you like, it's like it's way worse somehow. You know what I mean?
I had this happen Friday night at the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So um it's not exactly the same analogy like phrasing and stuff, but okay. So there was a guy that came up and performed um Sunhouse. He performed a Sunhouse song. Sunhouse
Okay.
is like old ass blues artist from like way
Yeah.
back, like
It sounds familiar.
because Jack White played Sunhouse. He covered Sunhouse on White Blood Cells. No, was
Okay.
it White Blood Cells or D Still? The song Death Letter, that's a Sunhouse song. Jack White covered it.
Mm-hmm.
Sunhouse has been noted as Jack White's favorite artist ever.
Huge
Jack's favorite
influence,
song
yeah.
is a Sunhouse song.
Okay.
And so this guy covered Sunhouse, and so after he got off stage, I went over to talk to him. I was like, dude, it's like because he played Death Letter on stage. So I was like, oh man, I love Death Letter. And I first became familiar with the song because of the Jack White cover. And he looks at me, he's like, and he's like, and I hate Jack White. I was like,
He didn't know.
wait,
He
what?
didn't know. He didn't know, man. He's not pretentious like us.
Yeah, well, he had a different reasoning. His reasoning that he didn't like Jack White is because he thought Jack White like tried to um more so claim like blues music as his own because like Jack White said like Black Keys in person like ripped him off and all this stuff versus
Yeah.
because he said he liked the Black Keys because the Black Keys like note their influences and stuff like on their records versus he thinks Jack White like ripped him off and stuff. But I was like, you like Sunhouse but you don't like Jack White, like what? Didn't
Well, I don't know. I can see that. Sunhouse is nothing like the White Stripes or Jack White. You know what I mean?
of course. I mean, like he was merely an influence.
If it was the other way, if it was, I don't know. If yeah, I thought you were going a different way because I was thinking about like people who say, "Oh man, it's so crazy that the Nine Inch Nails covered that Johnny Cash song." You know what I'm talking about? And I'm just
Yeah,
like, go fuck yourself. And like honestly, that's a simple mistake to make. Like people who listen to mainstream music would know that Johnny Cash performed a song called "Hurt," and that it was sort of like a big hit for him before he died. But a lot of people wouldn't know that that's a Nine Inch Nails song originally from like the
yeah,
'90s, from the Downward Spiral, like a classic Nine Inch Nails album. But if you don't like Nine Inch Nails or you weren't into industrial rock music in the '90s, you probably wouldn't know that. And so
right,
it's not like they're being ignorant. It's not like they're just choosing not to know something. But pisses me
right.
off. Just like, oh, fuck you, no, you're wrong. And then I try and correct them, and you just feel like a dick correcting them because you just feel real like you don't care. You're still not gonna remember this, so whatever, fine.
Right.
Yep, it was Johnny Cash, and I love the Johnny Cash version. I think it's excellent and way more approachable than the Nine Inch Nails version. But know where your shit comes from. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. What do
All
we have?
all
What do
right,
we? What do we have for
what
time right now?
tracks? I don't know. I want to say it's been like an hour. I don't have a timer on this.
We're close enough
Maybe
because we were
I
having
could
difficulties like
maybe
all the way up to 8 o'clock.
yeah. I might be able to actually look at the stream on YouTube and see how long it's been going. But anyway, in the meantime, you can
So we
just
can't
give
see
her.
we can't see our one viewer.
I can't see who it is. I can see that there's a viewer. So thank you,
Oh,
viewer, for being a viewer. And now it's going to drop to 0 because we mentioned them. But yeah, the YouTube stream doesn't show how long either. Anyway, it's been about an hour. That's fine.
that's pretty close.
We can let's throw
Once we
out
get through
some.
tracks and shit.
Yeah, it'll be normal size. So
All right.
what do you got, man? Of
So
course, all the tracks you recommend are going to go up on our Spotify playlist. You can follow it by finding either Seth Arp or Zachary Westcott on Spotify. There's also a link in the archive
Show
that's going to
notes.
go up later. Yeah, so I'm going to archive this, put it up as an audio form. It'll also be on YouTube as a saved archive if people want to watch it again. I have no fucking clue why you would. But there's also going to be a link in the episode on Simplecast. All the tracks we're about to say are going to go on it. That's what I was going to say. Okay, go.
Yep.
You first.
All right. So the song I've been digging for past like week or so is a song called "Trip Switch" by that band Nothing But Thieves.
Okay.
It's hard. I'm like trying to figure out where they fit because a lot of their stuff that's coming out, it's got a pop element to it, but not really. I mean, they're still like they're a rock band. It's still rock music, but it's like I don't know. It's just really good. Trip Switch. I completely sold on this song. Completely sold on this band. I can't wait till their album drops in the U.S. because it's dropped everywhere else.
Good. You should. Okay. I'm gonna shout out the new Adele song that came out. I think this
I
was just
listened to
last
that
week.
right before this podcast.
That's a good song. She's really good. Yeah, I think it's been like I actually really appreciate Adele because a couple of years ago she was just the biggest thing. That her last album 21 was just gigantic, and obviously
Yeah.
songs like "Rolling in the Deep," "Somebody Like You," and whatever the other one was. They were huge songs, and she was like a huge star. And then she just went away for a while, and I appreciated that. Like I like that. I think that Sam Smith is a really good artist, but like he's kind of always since he came around a couple years ago, he's always been around. There's always been like a track with Sam Smith or a new Sam Smith track out all the time.
Yeah.
So you don't get that like, man, when's this guy gonna come back, or when's this chick gonna come back, or this band gonna come back? But Adele did. She went away for a bit, and then she came back, and
And
this song's really good.
yeah, I really like this song. That
And how
was
ironic the song is called "Hello." That's fucking beautiful. And also that song is powerful as shit.
yes, it is.
That's a
Her
powerful
vocals are
fucking song.
oh my
And
god.
also, I had a question about this because I remember that last album, like songs like "Somebody Like You" is pretty much a breakup song, right? I was positive she was like getting married and shit, wasn't she?
She has
And
a
now
kid.
she has a kid.
I'm pretty sure
Now
she
she
has a
has
kid.
this. So she has this new song, and it's like all about heartbreak and shit. If she's writing about that ex-boyfriend of hers, that's real bad. I wonder if maybe the
Uh,
baby daddy left.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, go check that song out. It's a good song.
Okay.
Probably on the radio too.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna have to send you the link. This is not something you'll find on Spotify. This is something that'll probably be exclusively in the show notes or
Yeah.
or what. So hopefully I can find the right video link again. So this guy I met, I was talking about at the beginning, his name is Namdi Arakbo.
Mm-hmm.
Spoken word guy. The song that he played, I want to say it was called. I'm pretty sure it was called "Look Lust," but it wasn't Namdi that posted it. It was another guy that was hanging because the guy it was an acoustic guitar, and then this guy that was Namdi who was speaking over top of it. It's called "Look Lust," and Namdi's poetry will floor you with how he speaks, his delivery. It's fucking awesome. Um, so yeah, I want to plug some of it. Him. Since,
Okay. Yeah. I will make sure to throw that up in the show notes.
yeah, I'll send you the
The
link to
show.
that.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Next track from your dude over here. So yeah, I haven't been listening to a lot of new stuff, but if the newest stuff I have been listening to, there's a new G-Eazy track out. It's called Me, Myself, and I. It features BB Rexa. She's kind of been making her way around. She's like in a new David Guetta track. She's in a new like Nico and whatever the hell that other guy's name is track. But it's really good. G-Eazy is an interesting artist because I think he doesn't have a very good voice. Like he doesn't have like a nice sounding voice, but he writes really good lyrics and he has really amazing production around all the stuff he does. I don't know who does it for him or if he has a lot of input or he does it himself. But man, it is super good. Go listen to that shit.
Sweet. All right, so I think my last one, I will recommend this since I listened to it today. Listen to the song "Black Room Boy" by Above and Beyond. That's
Woo!
my anti-rock track for
Yeah.
for the podcast.
Man, I was gonna throw an
Um,
EDM track up. Now you just went and done did it.
Look at me now.
It's good. No, I
All
mean you picked a good one. It's not my favorite off the album, but it is certainly a great track if you're
yeah.
looking to get into some EDM. Um, okay, good. Last one for me. Let's see, what's the name of it? I added it to one of my other. So there's a new. I'm not sure if people are familiar with the group Rudimental. They're kind of like a. It's not really. I don't even know really how to describe it. I guess it's dance music, but it's very like UK sort of like disco.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
And have some different kind of stuff. It's pretty good. Just hearing him do like kind of more EDM dancey type stuff, I liked it. And then uh, anyway, so that new album, the track is called Comedy Motion, featuring Mnek, who's sort of he's a up and coming black singer. I think I've thrown out a couple tracks that have featured him on it before, but super good. Go listen to that. It'll be on the playlist.
Sweet. I really just realized I'm supposed to recommend you an album.
Do it. Recommend it. Away.
All right, so this is a little bit of an older album. It's about 4 years old.
Okay.
Um, band by the name of Yellow Ostrich.
Okay, I've never heard of them.
This is the album I got introduced to him on. The lead singer is actually originally from Madison, I want to say.
Nice.
But, and this is actually vintage. This band actually broke up like a year or two ago. Of course.
Okay.
But the album is called The Mistress. It's very indie. Like this is one of the more like probably one of the most indie albums I've listened to.
Okay.
Indie rock, but it's the singer does a lot of looping, like looping vocals.
A
lot of layering on it. So I'm kind of interested to know what your thoughts would be on that.
Okay, is that the album I'm to listen to for next time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The Mistress.
Yellow Ostrich. Yeah. Yellow Ostrich, right?
Yeah. Is the name of the band, and the album is The Mistress.
All right. Will do, man. So
sweet.
Good show. Good. I mean, it was all right. We had some technical difficulties at first. We got it figured out. So now that we're finished up, tell the people where they can get at us.
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter. Look.
I know you can see my girlfriend in the back, and she's going to get out of the way because she's nervous. Okay.
You can find us both on Twitter. You can find me at SethArp27.
I'm at Zach_Westcott. That's with a CH, motherfuckers. CH.
And tonight I will be working on putting up our Tumblr because I know that's been discussed.
Yeah, we've discussed it and then never done anything with it at all. So we're gonna work on it. Well, you're gonna work on it. Then I'm gonna work on it. We'll get it. We'll get it there.
Guaranteed for the next show, we will have a
Oh, you're
tumbler.
gonna guarantee it? Okay.
I'm going to guarantee it.
Okay.
There will be
All right.
some sort of tumbler for us for the next
Good.
show.
That's a good thing. We need that. All right. Well, take us out, Seth.
All right. Thank you for joining us. We
Not
will
awkwardly.
we'll see you on the internets. Until next time.
All right. All right.